I've built some of the most powerful relationships with people I had never even met. Okay. Never even met. Like I didn't meet them for years and years and years. And then you finally meet them in person and it blows your mind. It's like, whoa, you know what I mean? I'll give you an example. So right now we're doing this podcast episode live in Clubhouse right now, Breakfast with Champions, right? And I built a relationship with this guy named Glenn Lundy, right? And me and Glenn Lundy, we're doing a lot of networking. He had a show, and I got to go on his show, and then he came on my show, and then we were just networking, helping each other, supporting each other. And then all of a sudden this thing Clubhouse came out and he was like, hey, Trevor, I want you to, come over here and join me on this thing called Clubhouse. And I was like, what is that? I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, long story short, we got to do a lot of collaboration through the internet. I never met this guy through the internet, a lot of networking. Okay. Became really close. And then finally, he came and flew in to do my show in person. And I'm telling you, it's like we had been connected for years, building relationship, a couple of years before I ever met him in person. This is just one example. And I've got so many examples. But it was like, he's like a brother. You know what I mean? Like that, like seriously, we had a super powerful connection. Now, why? What is it that forged that connection? It's because we were constantly pushing power to power, right? I recognized his influence. I recognized his mission. I recognized what he was about. I recognized that it was very similar to my own. And I used this technique called pushing power to power, right? I wanted to help him and support him and add value to him as much as I could. And I was constantly pushing power his way, any way I could, any way I could push value to him. And then in return, he naturally did it. The law of reciprocity. He naturally just did the exact same thing to me. And that's why when the whole Clubhouse thing happened and he called on me, he was like, Trevor, I want you. You know what I mean? I want you to come with me. And so that's how you do it online, is figuring out people who, what we call it is like, who's your tribe? Who are those people that align with your values, align with your mission, and go figure out how you can help them. That's what networking is. How can you make the other person's life easier? How can you solve a problem for them? How can you push power to them? How can you spotlight them? How can you help and support them? And what they will naturally want to do is do the exact same thing. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, wow, I can't believe Trevor did this, and this for me, right? And so this forges a bond in a relationship, okay, that you don't have to have met this person in person for that to happen, okay? So I want you to know that. And I always say, give and then ask, right? Give and then have an ask. So it's important for you to think about and craft a specific ask that anytime you are in a situation where you're networking, when someone asks you the question, hey, what can I do for you? Hey, Michael, how can I help you? Hey, Michael, how can I support you? You just automatically have an ask. Hey, actually, you know what? Boom, this is what I need. And you ask the world for what you need, and it just comes to you. The more you ask, the more you receive.